Hey folks, it's Matt from Pranakasha Productions, otherwise known as the Star Trek Cello Guy, otherwise known as the lead singer of the Macadamians Party Band. And I'm down here at rockin' Venice Beach, California, the day before Mother's Day, and I just ran into this guy named Happy that everybody on the whole planet seems to know except for me. So, Mr. Happy, tell me all about yourself. For one thing, how did you get the name Happy?
I was in Disneyland, and I was with a girl. She wound up telling me, go see if you can get some money. She found some Mickey Mouse hat. Go get some money to be able to get us some food. And so I left her sitting on the bench, and I went to go get some money. And I saw a girl that was crying, and I walked up to her, and I go, hey, what's going on? She says, oh, my boyfriend just broke up with me. I just lost my boyfriend and everything else. I said, honey, you can't lose something you never had. She says, oh, really? Oh, okay. And she hooked up my arm like this, man. I said, she said, so what do I call you? I said, I don't know. She said, well, I'm going to call you Happy from now on. And that name stuck ever since.
Okay. Okay. Now you were telling me that you're Native American?
I'm an Elam Indian.
Elam. Okay. So, of course, most Native American tribes, at least as far as I can tell, like to give each other descriptive names. So you just sort of named yourself at that moment, right? Within that tradition?
Yeah.
What was your name before that?
Engine.
Okay. Really?
Like an Indian. Everybody called me Engine.
Okay.
I've lived a life as an Indian already my whole life.
Okay.
I'm home free to begin with.
Right. You were telling me that you're an orphan?
I've been an orphan since I was 5 years old.
Okay.
I was taken from my mother and put into a juvenile hall, and then I was put into an orphanage. By the time I was 7, I ran away.
Okay. All right. So you were taken from your mom, and then did she pass away soon after that, or?
Well, I didn't know. I thought they told me she died of alcoholism, so I went to Kansas. I didn't hitchhike. I rode the trains from Little Rock, Arkansas to Topeka, Kansas, because I knew that my grandma lived next to a railroad track. And there, I found out that my mama had died of suicide because they didn't tell her where I was.
Oh, wow. And you found, how old were you when you found that out?
7.
That's kind of heavy for a 7-year-old to digest.
You got to learn to live with things, you know.
Okay.
If it knocks you down, you don't get up, then what are you going to do? Just lay there.
All right. And you were telling me a story about some sugar cubes that you were passing out when you were 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
I came out here to Berkeley, California. Actually, I came out to Hollywood, but somebody else took me up to Berkeley.
Okay.
And there I met Timothy Leary. And I actually lived in a house with him for a while there.
You lived in a house with Timothy Leary?
Yeah.
Okay. And you might, just in case people don't know who Timothy Leary is, you might want to fill him in.
He's a good doctor.
So he's the guy who is the founder or the inventor of LSD, right?
Yeah, he did
otherwise known as acid.
He did a thesis for the government on it. His thesis in college was on LSD and how they used it to convince people that the war was over and stuff like that, all kinds of things, you know, and that's what it was doing.
And they were like, war, what's that, man?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Like, why would people want to, like, kill each other on purpose?
Yeah.
You know?
But during that time, I was in Berkeley, California, passing out hits of sugar cube to people for free. And
now, these were special sugar cubes, right?
Yeah.
Well, what was so special about them?
They had a drop of liquid. If you take 1 gallon of water, and you take 2 drops of LSD pure, and put that in the water and mix it up, each one of the drops that comes back out of that water is a hit.
Right.
That's how potent it was.
So this is how you know, because like most medications that you take in milligrams. You know, like I take lisinopril for blood pressure. I take 20 milligrams of lisinopril, 20 milligrams. But LSD is not in milligrams; it's in micrograms.
Yeah.
So a microgram is 1,000th of a milligram.
Yeah.
So that's what he's saying, is it's a super small amount. For some magical reason, it just takes a tiny bit of those molecules to start swimming around in your brain and make you start, having cosmic visions and so on. So.
Yeah, that's a very good description. I never thought of it like that. But yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So you, as an 8-year-old kid, were passing out sugar cubes of LSD to anybody that wanted one?
I tell them stick out their tongue.
And just plug it on?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then did you hang out with them or just kind of say, well, have a fun time?
Well, I don't know if you understand the world of LSD or not. But
Well, I did take it once. And I did do magic mushrooms a few times, so it's similar.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
and I still remember quite a bit of it. It
Good.
was quite transformational.
good. I'm happy to hear that part.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. Yeah. You see, at a certain point, you know what I mean? Everybody has to say one way or the other, you know what I mean, what it is. And with me, myself personally, I wanted to go out and let everybody have this experience.
Okay. So it opened your mind
Well,
and your heart.
I was 8 years old. How am I supposed to know how I opened my mind? I didn't have much of a mind to open.
Okay, I can't really imagine taking LSD as an 8-year-old and trying to be able to process that. But
Well, it's hard for me to explain to people that I think I'm part of the original family. They've told me this before. I mean,
you mean like Adam and Eve's family?
not that kind of original. No. No. It was brought to my point that, okay, Ken Kesey, who I knew very well,
Okay.
He made a movie called Rubber Tramp. At least he narrated in a movie called Rubber Tramps.
Rubber what?
Rubber Tramp,
Rubber tramps?
a movie.
Okay.
And he says in that movie, this is the only time you'll ever see all the pranksters together.
Okay.
And he shows a little video shot. And, okay, so Sean Cassidy's sitting in the driver's seat.
Okay.
There's a bunch of people sitting on the floor, like about 7 or 8 people. I don't know how many, can't remember. They're sitting on the floor, and you look, and they're passing a pot pipe around, smoking it.
Okay.
And you look, and you see a hand come out of the roof, out of nowhere, and reach down and grab that pipe and pull it up. It took me several times to watching that to see, but that was me.
That was you.
I knew it was me, but I couldn't tell it was me. Really, seriously, then I saw me, I go, yep, that was me. I remember doing that.
So you were sitting on a cloud?
No. I know my touch. I wasn't sitting on a cloud. What I was doing was, see, if you look at all the old pictures, this is something that can be tracked down, okay?
Okay.
If you look at all the old pictures of further the original prankster bus.
Okay. Now actually, I don't even know who the pranksters are. So who are the pranksters?
Well, you see, Ken Kesey wrote a book called Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf or something like that.
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Okay.
Something like that. I'm not sure exactly what it I've always forgot what the name of the book was.
Okay.
And he made a lot of money doing it.
Okay.
And one of the things he wanted to do is he had learned about LSD, and so he wanted to share it.
Wait a minute. Virginia Woolf, she was like a well-known interviewer or something like that?
No. He just wrote a book.
Okay. All right.
And I'm not sure if that's the name of the book or not for sure. You know, when
folks, there's no notes for this.
people
Like we didn't prep for this. It's all off the cuff. That's why I don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah.
But
I didn't tell him nothing.
Yeah. We just met on the sidewalk over there. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we just put the phone on a tripod and just started yakking. Okay. Because I was getting my necklace fixed because the little pendant fell out. Not that one, but not that one. This one, I got a new little thingy put on there by another dude, and then we just started talking, and off we go. So
Yep.
the pranksters are.
The pranksters are the original purveyors of LSD.
Oh. Okay. So they're like the 12 disciples of Jesus.
No, nothing like that. We traveled around the United States passing out LSD to anybody who wanted one.
Oh, that seems like the same thing.
Yeah, you might think. And that was an interesting trip because I was very young. You know, I was very young, and so
All right.
interesting for me to do that. But
So
I
was
did.
this
I
like,
traveled around.
was this where you were in the bus and you just kind of dropped your hand
I
down from
just
the
reached
dome?
down, yeah, from the dome. See, Ken Kesey didn't have a dome in the bus when it first made. That dome was put there so I'd have a place to be and nobody could see me.
So he was the kid that lived in the dome of Ken Kesey's bus.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you know, like on a B-17, they have this glass dome for the turret gunner. It was sort of like that, except his didn't have a 50 cal in it. Other than that, it was the same. Also, it was on the top instead of the bottom. Right.
And I had to stay out of sight because I didn't want nobody.
Did you have a shotgun or anything
No,
like that?
nothing like that. No. I had hits of LSD. That was good enough.
You could just imagine a ray gun or something like that.
No,
Yeah.
nothing like that.
All right.
See, the only reason why I did that, I had to do that because I was told, don't let nobody see you.
Mm. You know what you needed?
What do I need?
Since you're on LSD, all you need is one of those special Harry Potter cloaks of invisibility. You put that on and then no one can see you.
Yeah, I'd rather they saw me.
Okay. So you're the type of guy that goes against the grain, or whenever somebody tells you to do something, you do the opposite?
Not really.
Okay, well, I am.
Not really. No, I don't do the opposite. No, I'm the kind of guy that wants everybody to be happy.
There you go.
And I
And that's
usually,
why they call you happy. You want everyone to be you?
no, I want everyone to be happy because they're happy.
Okay.
And because it's become a bad thing to say, but I don't have to tell you, I follow God. And following God makes me happy. And I got a lot of things that I do, and miraculously, God leads me to all these things, and I'm so grateful.
Well, okay. Not to derail the whole conversation, but in Sanskrit, which is the language of the yogis and the meditators of the East, there's a word called ananda, which means bliss, or you could say it means happy, right?
Okay.
So your name could be Ananda,
Okay.
you know, if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, it's such a popular name that all these gurus in India have it stuck on their name. Like you hear gurus name like Ishwarananda, or you know, Shivananda, or Premananda, Muktananda, Nityananda, all these Ananda. So
wow.
You're the English version of that.
I didn't know that.
Yep. There you go. So we could call you Happy Ananda.
Happy Ananda.
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Happy Ananda.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to name. And the other people that are from other countries like Africa and other things like that don't know what that means.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So anyway, in my life, it's always been the case that whenever I start mentioning what I follow, other people look and go, oh man, he had to say that, you know. And they just like click, 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 click.
Okay, I have a question for you. Sorry.
It's
So you follow God, right? Okay, well then that begs the question, of course, is who or what is God?
See, that depends on who you are and what you believe.
Wait a sec. So if I look up at the sun in the sky and you ask me what is the sun in the sky, and I say, well, it depends on who you are and what you believe, am I going to get the same amount of light and the same amount of warmth from the sun, depending on how I believe?
No, because that's a physical thing.
Okay.
God is not there physically.
Okay.
He's there inside of you.
Okay.
And what you need to do from the very beginning of your life is you need to learn how to take the devil who's sitting at the keyboard to your mind
Okay.
and take that and cut all the connections, everything there is to your mind from the devil, because he's sitting in there. And he's going to give you all kinds of ideas and all kinds of things to do. But if you listen to God, God will tell you what he wants you to do and how he wants you to do. And often I think
And where does he tell you from?
that's inside of you too.
From where? Like if there's a part of my body that I'm most likely to find or hear God, where should I look?
Well, some people think it's in your subconscious.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Some people might even say the subconscious
Oh,
is
a lot
what you
of
think
things,
is
yeah.
God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that think they are God.
Well,
You know.
okay. I mean, there are people that say follow your heart.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
what I would say is the most likely place to find God.
In a way, yeah. But I just,
Even Jesus says that.
Myself personally, I have been through so many, quote, trials and tribulations in my life
Okay.
that I think it's a miracle that I'm still alive. That I was able to wake up in the morning and say, thank you, God, for that first fresh breath.
That's a good attitude.
And that's how I start my days. And, I start every day that way. I want to start every day that way. And I want to end every day by thanking,
Okay.
being grateful and letting them know, listen, God, thank you for all the stuff you did today. I can't believe you did all those things. Oh, my goodness, what miraculous.
Thank you for the sunshine.
Yeah.
Thank you for the waves and the beach.
Well, like I was telling you,
Right.
here I was walking down. I'm going, I'm kind of hungry, man. And I looked to my right, and there's some guy cooking hamburgers on a wall over there in the place he's doing. And I look and I go, wow, I think I know that guy. All of a sudden he turned around and go, hey, Happy, how you doing, man? I said, I'm doing all right. How much for a burger? He said, I'll make you one free. Don't worry about it. And so I got to eat. Now, to me, that's part of my miraculous life that I live.
Yeah.
That God does for me. Now, how he lives for everybody else, that's not me to say. And how everybody else is treated by God is not my decision. It's only what he does for me.
So you're saying you sort of live in a kind of blissful ignorance?
Well, gee, I have to tell you, it's like this.
You know I said that, right?
It's like this. If you think you're smart enough to figure out what God is doing, you're already dumb.
Okay. So then I shouldn't even try?
I wouldn't. I'd let God do it.
Okay.
Take it out of your hand and put it in his.
What's there's some quote like that. I think it's let go, let God. There's a famous, I can't remember who said it. Somebody said that. Ram Dass maybe said that or somebody like that.
Maybe. Baba Ram Dass, be here now.
Right.
Yeah. Over the years of my life, I have, it started out with the Bohemians.
Okay.
I was around for that.
You mean the Bohemian Rhapsody?
No. The Bohemians as a group of people that gathered together in one area and in another area and in another area. They were like the original protesters, protesting things, in a way. They weren't like other people, and they lived a very, very open, loose lifestyle because they didn't live anywhere. They just,
they're vagabonds.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm a nomad.
I didn't notice.
I'm a nomad. I'm happy. I had to be nomad.
Right. Did you ever find yourself in the continent of India?
Never been outside the United States except for I went to Canada, to Victoria Gardens one time. I drove up there. And then I went down to Ensenada, Mexico, to Husong Cantina down there. And I bought 2 cases of Husong beer and brought it back up to the United States. And took it to the bar and go, hey, don't tell me you don't got no Husong here. I drove.
Right.
But no, I don't. I have not been outside the United States.
Folks, I'm having a coughing attack, so we're going to pause the interview for a second. Okay, we're back. Kombucha in hand. My favorite. Elderberry, so that should have the maximum healing power. So you were telling me earlier, before we started the interview, that you have a website.
Yes.
So we're going to look it up on the tablet right now.
Yeah. Actually, I have channels.
Oh, YouTube channels. Okay, cool.
There's one of them here, and in that one there, I have
Hollywood Happy.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, folks. Link
Hollywood
in the
Happy,
description.
one word, little H.
Happy is life.
Yeah, that's the name of the movie that was made about me.
Oh, they made a movie out of you.
About me.
Cool.
Happy Life. My daughter's name is Life, L-I-F-E.
All right. Yeah. Very cool. Well, what we'll do is I can show some clips of your stuff when I look for that.
There's my music right here.
Nice.
Here's a video that was done by me called Black Star. It's the only Black Star on Hollywood Boulevard.
Okay.
It's
I frequented Hollywood Boulevard.
Elvis Presley used to have a star there, but they moved it.
How dare they?
Huh?
How dare they move Elvis's
Yeah,
star?
they took it out and moved it down to where the
Vegas.
four ladies of show business on La Brea and Hollywood Boulevard. You know.
Okay, so you're a songwriter, right?
Yeah.
What's your most favorite song you ever wrote?
My favorite song I ever wrote.
Yeah. It ain't right.
Yeah, that's the most famous song I ever wrote. But
It ain't right. Let's play that song right now.
oh, okay.
There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
It ain't right. No, it ain't right. It ain't right. You know it just ain't right. It ain't right. No, it ain't right. It ain't right. You know it just ain't right. There's people, you know they're out there on the street. Those people, they're trying to find something to equal. There's people, you know they're out there in the cold. Those people, they're being bought and being sold. It ain't right. No, it ain't right. It ain't right.
Nice.
You know it just ain't right. It ain't right. You know it ain't right. It ain't right. You know it just ain't right. Government, you know they are pushing us around the government. It's time for us to all get down the government. You know they have taken away our rights, government. And you know it just ain't right. It ain't right. No, it ain't right. It ain't right. You know it just ain't right. It ain't right. You know it ain't right. It ain't right. Let's all stand up and fight. Come on, y'all. No, it ain't right. It ain't right.
Oh, y'all, get on up and fight.
It ain't right. No, it ain't right. It ain't right. Yeah, no, it just ain't right.
Nice. All right.
You know it ain't right.
There's only one thing that song needs. It needs a little bit of cello.
I think it needs a whole lot of things like that. Orchestration. When my friend first heard me do my album in 2002, the guy that recorded it, he said to my friend that recorded it, he said, I got to put a 65-member orchestra with this guy. This guy's incredible. And he never got to do it.
Well, there's still time.
Yeah.
It's easy to take. You can just take the song as is and then just add some orchestra tracks to it. All it takes is an orchestra.
Hey,
And somebody to arrange it.
somebody to do it.
Well,
You know?
I might be able to do something like that.
The truth is that I was in Lancaster, California. I was stuck in a truck that I couldn't get running, I couldn't get going, and everything. I just put money into it, didn't get it going.
What kind
I
of truck
decided-
is this? We should warn people not to buy a truck like this. What was it?
It was a 1993 Chevy box truck.
All right, there you go.
Called a
folks.
D30 van.
Avoid that kind of truck.
Yeah, 1993. Those years don't even get around it, man.
Nope.
Yeah.
I suppose someone probably tried to steal your catalytic converter at some point.
No, actually they didn't, but I kept the watch on so they wouldn't. It was right there visible for them to do it, but no, they didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just got tired of working on that truck and trying to get together. See, I'm actually by trade, I'm a jeweler.
Ah.
I'm a lapidary metalsmith jeweler, goldsmith, silversmith jeweler, and lapidary is a guy who cuts rough rocks and turns them into gems to turn into jewelry.
No copper.
No, I don't use copper.
No.
No. Silver and gold.
Right.
Although I could make it out of copper, do the same thing, you know. Not a problem.
I know
I'm a
some people are
metalsmith.
into copper
Huh?
for whatever reason. Some people are into copper.
I happen to make copper bracelets and stuff too.
Oh, so
You
you
know,
do
just-
copper.
Yeah, but it's not what I call. Yeah, I do.
So
I
now
do
we're
metal. I'm a
splitting.
metalsmith.
Okay.
I also can take a sheet of metal.
I guess
You know
I'm
what
getting
I
my terminology mixed up. So a metalsmith and a jeweler is not quite the same.
Well, it depends on what kind of metalsmith you're talking about. See, I'm a silversmith,
Ah.
which makes it a jeweler.
Okay.
But a metalsmith is normally a guy who builds cars.
Builds
Takes
what?
Cars. Bodies for cars and things.
Like automobiles?
Metalsmith, well, he shapes it and do stuff, to be able to create molding for cars and stuff.
I see.
The metalsmith is, he welds and he solders and stuff, But that's all stuff for, I know how to do that kind of stuff.
So
and
you
I've
mean
done
like
it.
if you go to a car factory like the Chevy factory that made this abominable truck, inside there's like thousands of metalsmiths that are like pounding away each panel.
No. They take a big sheet of metal
All right.
and they have a form that they have created out of metal steel.
So the metalsmith
And
creates the form?
They press the metal into the form and shape. And that's what goes onto the fenders, and
Right.
that's what goes onto the doors, goes onto the roof. All parts and pieces that all go together.
All right.
Those lines are important lines because if those lines are this way or that way, any kind of way at all, that means something happened to the car.
Yeah, I remember
Right.
hearing about panel gaps a while ago.
So, yeah, but a metalsmith is a person who works with metal.
All right.
A silversmith is a person who works with jewelry,
Okay.
and I work with silver, and I also work with gold.
Then what is an aerosmith?
An aerosmith is a band person who plays music. Yeah, almost got me.
I thought you were going to say, well, actually, music is a vibration of air. So an aerosmith is someone who creates air vibrations.
Man, he went to college, dude. That's not my fault.
But I went to the Evergreen State College, so it doesn't quite count. You know what that one is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like the most hippie college there ever was.
yeah.
Evergreen State. Yeah.
I got lucky in my life because I went to school at Father Flanagan's Boys Home, Boytown, Nebraska.
All right.
I sang in the Father Flanagan's choir for like 4 years, almost 5
Soprano?
years. Soprano was the lead soloist.
Woo! Okay.
And
Then what did you do when your voice changed? Did that destroy your career?
Well, what happened with me was I wanted to change my voice to get out of Boytown.
All right.
I was 14 years old and I graduated high school and I didn't want nothing to do with Boytown no more. Boytown is, I'm done. I graduated high school at 14, 1967. Boytown, Nebraska, Father Flanagan's gave me a Emancipation Proclamation paperwork so that I would be able to leave Boytown.
Okay.
And I did. They gave me a $2,800 check. That was in 1967.
That's a lot of moolah. You could buy a house.
Yes,
with
it
that.
was. I did more than that. I built a motorcycle with it, a Harley, and I also built a car with it.
Okay.
And invested
car?
Well, it was actually a custom car. It was a 1964 Plymouth Satellite that we had taken and completely stripped everything down to the framing and completely rebuilt the whole car.
Was that one of the ones that had the push button transmissions?
No.
Okay.
No. This car had 4 on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it had a really heavy duty transmission.
383?
Yeah, I punched out to 426.
Oh.
It was made to go almost 250 miles an hour or more.
No way.
Yes. It had bolt-on
No
tires.
way.
Yeah.
Because
It was-
I've driven cars like that. When you get around 80, they start shaking like
no,
this.
No. This car was made for this.
Okay.
And it was made by a guy who did Doc. He was called the tech tips guy and popular mechanic. He was called Doc.
Doc,
And he was a
okay.
friend of mine. I used to write him letters all the time. I always contradicted what he'd say,
Did he know a kid named Marty?
No. But anyway, Doc.
You got that reference, right?
Yeah. Marty,
Back
yeah.
in the future, folks.
Yeah, Marty, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's different Doc's tech tips, they call it.
Okay.
The popular mechanic.
But that's who
Yeah.
the doc I was talking about was
Yeah, Marty.
Marty.
Marty, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Back to the Future, I got it. Anyway,
Christopher
what
Lloyd.
happened was Doc, when I got out, I've been communicating with him, and I told him, I said, I got this money, I want to build a car. He says, okay. And he uncovered an engine that had been over there covered up on an engine. And I looked at that and said, yeah, it looks really, really nice, but what about the rest of it? He said, I'll build it all for you.
He'll build the car around the engine.
and it had skid plates underneath it so that nothing would ever get bound up with it. It had not one bit of reflective stuff on it, no chrome, no nothing, all flat black. The windows were painted over flat black. There was no lights, no headlights, no tail lights, no nothing, anything else. It was called the Midnight Express.
This sounds like a car designed by that devil guy in the back of your head.
Nope.
Working the keyboard.
No. Now this was done, Doc did this. And
So
it
what-
was so
so
fast.
how-
It was so
wait.
fast that I couldn't drive it myself personally. I got scared trying to drive my car.
All right.
So there was a guy named Gene East. They called him Smokey. He was the guy who put Bonneville, the Triumph, and 650 Bonneville. He's the one that won all the races with him. His name was Smokey. His real name was Gene East.
As in Smokey and the Bandit.
But before that, before the movie, wait.
So he
This is the
inspired
60s.
Smokey and the Bandit.
No, maybe not. I doubt it. But anyway, Gene East was Smokey, and Smokey was,
Well,
a race
Burt
car.
Reynolds would beg to differ.
Well, this guy could drive a car like crazy, man.
All right.
I mean, I had crossover seat belt, like
Okay.
this, running a multitude of frames and everything,
All right,
like this, and the car, 55-gallon drum behind me,
Of gasoline.
55-gallon gasoline behind me, was the back seat was supposed to be, a 55-gallon drum, 25-gallon drum underneath, to carry the gas, and that was called the Midnight Express.
So we're
and,
talking 80 gallons.
something
Right,
like
so that could go-
about 70.
So you could go maybe 400 miles with that.
Yeah, and back then
5
they
miles
all
a
had
gallon.
radios. Well, not yeah, less than that. But yeah, back then radios is the best way they had to catch up to you.
Right.
And that Midnight Express, it was used to take things across the United States very quickly.
Okay.
That was my car for doing that. And like I said, Gene East had to drive it because I couldn't drive it. I was
And then
afraid.
you had
It
a
scared me.
special dispensary that would throw sugar cubes out the back.
No.
Should have had, man.
Yeah,
That would have
but
been the car to deliver it with.
that. Unfortunately,
Or, better than that, you just have a sprayer that sprays like powdered sugar everywhere so that everybody gets it.
I think everybody needs to do that already. Yeah. But Gene East did that. He drove the car. And one time we just got back from a run all the way to California, back to Kansas, where we were.
Right.
And there were two girls in the bar. He asked me, hey, hang on to the girls. I'll be back and we'll go pick up some stuff. He'd get $100 a bag. He'd get a duffel bag full of weed. And he had to go pick up some weed, at Fort Air Force Base. And so he left. The cops got chasing him, and he wound up hitting a bridge abutment
Yeah.
and blew up everything.
So how did he get it so cheap? That's awfully cheap.
This was in
For a duffel bag full
This
of
in
it.
1970, 72. Just coming back from Vietnam.
Yeah.
A whole duffel bag full. Vietnam weed.
For $100.
I back up. I'd done it myself, but he did it too. But I would pull into there. I had a pass to get into the military base. I'd pull up at the military base, back up to a door. They'd open up the garage door like this, open up my trunk, and put 5 duffel bags full of weed in there. I paid them $500, and they'd go away.
And then did you smoke it all yourself, or did you distribute it to
No,
your
that's what I was
friends?
talking about. That's how I got to. I started sending stuff around because I got tired of every time, I got sending it around because they kept busting stuff, and I said, well, forget this. I can't send anybody any more stuff. If you want to, come and get it.
Okay.
And that was the first rainbow.
First rainbow?
Yeah. Back in those days, I would take a Vietnam weed, which
No,
was
hold on. So is rainbow like a code word for something?
the rainbow family.
Rainbow family.
I'm peacekeeper.
Peacekeeper. I don't know. I'm ignorant.
Okay.
What's the rainbow family?
Have you ever heard of Burning Man?
I've heard of Burning Man.
Okay.
Yeah. Though I haven't gone to it.
Rainbow's
unfortunately.
been there before Burning Man even thought to be there.
Well, are you talking about the rainbow that God created after the
No.
flood?
I'm talking about the Rainbow Tribe, which happens to be, called the Rainbow Tribe because all the different Indian tribes have a color.
Oh, okay. So this is interesting. Okay. I know
So
this.
we call it Rainbow Tribe because all the different tribes of Indians have a
So
color.
it's like all of humanity
Pretty much.
Or all of the
They could
indigenous humanity?
they can come and gather together. The last time I heard, I went to a rainbow gathering in 1992.
Okay.
My daughter was before she was born,
All right.
and I attended the last meeting I ever attended. And I held the feather,
Right.
I spoke, and I told them that because I'm peacekeeper,
Right.
because peacekeeper had been supplying alcohol for A camp now all these years, using the miracle hat, which is that hat I have on every time,
All right.
the miracle hat, then I'm not going to support A camp anymore,
Oh, because alcohol is evil.
because I didn't want to have to go down there and stop a bloodletting because somebody wanted to kick somebody else's butt and shed blood. They had to do that like at least once a week or something.
All right.
It
Then.
was like weird, and I didn't like that. And I didn't like the fact that all the magic hat money was going to A camp to pay for their booze. I didn't like it. And so I told them, hey, that's it. I'm done. I'm not going to support Rainbow no more, and I'm not going to have anything to do with it anymore. And that was in 1992.
All right.
And instead of handing the feather, somebody had dropped the feather and walked away. The woman that was with me, she became the mother of my kid, was pregnant with my kid at the time. As I'm walking away, she said to me, Happy, turn around and look back. I went, no, I don't need to do that. She says, oh, yes, you do. Turn around and look back. There was about 300 people that were in that circle. I turned around and looked back. There's about 50 of them still sitting down. The rest of them got up and walked away.
Wow.
That was the last of what anybody would know for true Rainbow family to be there. And they're not there no more. And a lot of the elders left when I left, because they knew who I was. They knew,
Right.
But it's like that with a lot of things. Epic things happen. I don't know why, but they do.
Well, that's because you're a man of God.
Well, that could be.
So God doesn't speak to you through your heart, then, apparently.
I'm not sure.
Like when you hear God's voice, you actually hear a voice, or you just get an inkling, or see a vision, or how does it work for you?
That's funny.
Or all of the above?
It's, to me, I want to make sure I say this right, because, there's a lot of things that I can say that would really confuse people,
Okay.
and they think I'm wrong. But the truth of the matter is like I was saying to you, it depends on what a person believes. If somebody believes one thing, they're going to believe it. Now, they can believe it for whatever information they got to believe it on.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be factual information or anything. They can convince themselves of anything.
Yeah.
But, after a certain point, then people start realizing, wow, that wasn't right.
Okay, so here's what I think what you're getting at. When I tried to use the analogy of the sun, you said, well, that doesn't make sense because the sun is a physical object and God is not a physical thing. So here's what I think you're saying. Is that God ultimately is unmanifest, like doesn't have a form. So, but people can't understand something that doesn't have a form, so they have to have a form. So they have to imagine God to be a certain way, and then for them, that's how God is, and that's how they interpret. Right? Am I explaining it right?
You're very much on the line there, because, like I said, you can convince yourself of anything.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter whether the information is correct or not.
Mm-hmm. You have something that convinces you, like, if you pray to the sun god and then you get sun for 7 days, or if you're praying to the rain god and you get rain for 7 days, then that's enough proof for some people.
I used to have what my family called the rain rock.
Okay.
And I swear, at that gathering where I was at, these guys were drumming like crazy to get the rain. Man, what you guys drumming? Why don't you let me sleep for a day or so, man? Come on, quit drumming around me all the time. They go, we're drumming for rain, Happy. I go, well, here, let me take care of that. And I go in there and pull out this rain rock that I had wrapped in leather, and it's a piece of turquoise that somebody gave me. And I go, here, and I hand it to them, and they could feel the moisture rain, not really raindrops, but moisture misting on them. And they go, oh, and hand the rock back. And I go, yeah, that's right. And I handed it to every single person in that circle and came back and I said, now, quit drumming for rain. It's going to rain. 2 days later, it rained for 2 weeks. It flooded the whole desert. Vehicles that were there, and anybody, this is Oh My God Hot Springs in 92. People that were there, no, there was a Volkswagen van sitting there, and the rain, when it rained, they moved the ground, and the Volkswagen bus went down like this into the ground.
Down into
Only
the
the rear end,
pit.
all the rear end sticking out of it, that was it. It didn't nobody die with it or anything like
That's
this,
good.
but he got sunk, you know, because so much rain. I mean, it rained and rained and rained. I go, yeah, man, you should not drum so much for rain, you know. But that rain rock, I don't have the rain rock anymore.
Oh, dang.
I have another one that's similar to it, which is Spider Dane turquoise.
Well, I live in Seattle, so I can use a Sun Rock if you don't have to get one of those.
Sun rock?
Yeah.
I have to.
We got lots of rain up there. We need
Yeah.
some more sun.
Yeah. You're funny. You know, I'm glad that you even want to do an interview with me. After Dermot and Bennett did that interview with me, he went from like 20,000 to 68,000, and now he's up to about 500,000.
All right, you hear that, folks? So just tell all your friends, and let's get this channel up past 100,000 subscribers by next week. Thus saith Happy.
I would like to have that happen. You know, this guy's being nice enough to interview me. A lot of people don't want to hear what I got to say because they don't think it's the truth. They think I'm lying. And I don't lie. I don't tell them a lie.
What are you lying about?
No, I'm not lying. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people think I do, you know.
Well,
I'm trying to build up my character. I don't care about all that stuff.
So,
You know what I mean?
so your name's Happy.
Yes.
It just so happens that there's a little doggy up there, and here comes the owner of the doggy at this moment. The dog's name is Lucky.
The dog's name is Lucky.
So we got Happy, Go Lucky. Lucky!
There's Lucky right there.
That was Lucky. And there goes Ian, that's Lucky's daddy.
Hi, dog.
Lucky, ruff, ruff.
You're not going to come down.
That's Lucky.
You know, you got to stay up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had a descriptive name. So some people say they do, and they make fun of me because my name's Matt. They call me Doormat or Welcome Matt or whatever.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, you don't know what it's like, man. You can call it Doormat or Welcome Matt your whole life.
How about this one? Here I am. I'm a teenager.
All right,
I'm in Hollywood,
right.
running around. There's all these different types of people around me. You know, they're homosexuals, drag queens. You know, everywhere I go in Hollywood. Somebody comes up and says, "Hey, Happy, what do they call a gay hippie?" What? What you ask me that for? You go, answer me. What do they call a gay hippie? I don't know. What? A happy. And I'm not gay. I've never been gay. You know, that's the way it is. When I was younger, that's what they used to call me. When I was in Boytown, they used to call me a Cupid doll.
Cupid doll?
Cupid doll.
Because the women just threw themselves at you.
Not until after I got out of Boytown. Like crazy. Like crazy.
That's probably the necklace.
Oh.
That's why I wear
No.
these necklaces.
No,
Yeah,
somebody
you wouldn't
gave me
believe
this
how
necklace.
popular I got after I started wearing necklaces like this and bracelets.
Somebody gave me this necklace.
Yeah.
I got a bracelet.
All right, let's see your bracelet.
I'll give it to you.
Off camera, we have a cart of stuff. Here it comes.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, that's a rather fine.
I know you like
Show it to
stainless
the
steel.
camera. See that? Yep. What fit on there?
You want on that one?
You got a clasp? Let's see if it'll fit first.
Yeah.
I do see a class.
Yeah.
Let's do this. This is how we'll maintain our psychic connection if it fits.
To the
That's the
psychotic
question.
connection. Some people call me a psychotic psychic. I don't know which one of them I am.
Now, a psychotic psychic would not be a happy state to be in. Because psychics have to deal with an overload of information to start with, compared to a normal person. Then if you have psychotic tendencies, that wouldn't help at all. Okay, come on, it's gotta fit. Ta-da! Sorry for coughing, folks. Thank you, sir. Woo! Now we got a connection. Is that Mother Mary?
This is
Let's
rose
hold that to
sapphire.
you.
This is rose sapphires.
Oh, wow.
And if you look at it real closely, you'll notice they all have glass facets, glass spots on them all over them.
Okay.
Yeah. These are very unusually rare, hard to get.
Wow.
Nobody else would ever be able to find these
Wow.
because, like I say, if I put them over here in the sun, you might be able to see it better. There we go.
Yeah.
See?
Very nice. Crazy, man.
Here,
You gonna give that to me?
give it to somebody else if you don't want it.
Are you sure you don't want it?
I'm going to give it to you. And I said I didn't want it. I
Wow.
just said I'm giving it to you.
It's got a baby angel.
Yeah. And the key ring is on, so you do whatever you want to do with it.
I'll have
Give it
to
to
be
somebody else.
somebody else.
But those
Wow.
are rose sapphires. And
Rose
They're
sapphire.
so unusual that nobody would ever know what they are. They say, "Oh, that's rose quartz." No, it's not. Those are sapphires. Which I'm not even going to go into. But if you have any idea, I'm a jeweler, so
And what's
I
the
always
pen-
have
what's
a lot
the
of
what's
things.
the pendant?
That was.
It's a little angel.
It was on the key ring when I got it, and I kind of liked it, so I left it there.
Interesting.
It's a little baby angel.
Let's see if it'll fit.
I don't think so. You'd have to put it on around you. And that plastic can come off of it. It's just laying there,
So I can do it.
Oop.
This takes great fine motor skills. Oh crap. Oh well, it wanted to come
That's
off.
okay. That's okay. You got it off.
It wanted to come off.
Yep.
Uh,
You almost
Can't quite
got
do it. Did you do it? Maybe you can do it.
May I?
Sure.
Chin up.
It's a bit of a choker.
Not really. Plenty of loose here.
Oh, there's the pot plants. I wonder where the pot plants went. They're up in the top rack. It used to be where all of these tomato plants are.
Why did it take me so long to do this? I'm trying to make sure I get mine. Don't go away from me.
It's like staying still when you're getting your hair cut.
Okay, let me do it this way. Okay. See, I have to go put this, and then like this. Now,
And this is waterproof, right? I can keep it on in the shower. Thank you, sir. Now we have a double whammy connection.
yeah.
Well, how should we wrap up this marvelous interview?
How should we wrap it up? Gee, I think you should play one of my songs.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's play one
Or
more song.
either that, or
Folks, we're going to play a song. We're playing a song, West Texas style for all of y'all.
I can't believe it.
Got any West Texas style for songs for all of them? all them y'alls. And then off camera, Ian, you want to come on camera and say hi to everyone? Russ?
Sure.
This is Ian. I can't even see you.
Hello. Oh, that's my
So that's Ian
There
sideways.
he is, right there.
Yeah. He's the owner of Lucky, the doggy that we heard
Yeah.
that was speaking to us previously. Yeah. Ian is the gardener. He's right now gingerly watering these newly sprouted plants. And if you saw how lovingly and caringly he did it, you'd be brought to tears.
I think I'm close to 35 to 40%. Maybe 35.
Yeah.
Success rate. Not great. Oh well. I tried.
All right then. My name is Happy. Let's hear that song.
Met a man just the other day. Walked up to him, this is what he had to say. Oh my, it's such a happy day. Looked at him right into his eyes. I see the traces of a happy cry. Oh my, it's such a happy day. Well, sometimes a man's alone. Well, I'll tell you, nothing can ever change him. Until into his life he makes some rearranges. Met a man just the other day. Walked up to him, this is what he had to say. Oh my, it's such a happy day. Hey, 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 my name is Happy. Just like me, you can be happy too. Hey, 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 my name is Happy. Just like me, you can all be happy too. Yesterday I was daydreaming. All I could see was a better world. All you people out there, you're lying and facing. You know it won't help you when you get to the other world. That's right, you know it. Hey, 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 yeah, my name is Happy. Just like me, you can be happy too. Hey, 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 my name is Happy. With a name like Happy, what's a name like Happy? Name like Happy, what can a man like you do?
I don't know. A whole lot more than a guy with a name like Matt.
Well, I think we're gonna do something about that, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really do.
All right.
Now the old man, yes, he's dead and gone, but his story still lingers on. He said, oh my, it's such a happy day. Upon his tombstone, yes, upon his grave, these very words is what it has to say to you as you walk by it reads. Hope you have a happy, happy day.
Happy day.
Hey, 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 my name is Happy.
Well, that was just beautiful.
Pranakasha Production. Fantastic creations emerging spontaneously from the space of life. For the benefit of all beings everywhere. We gotta